Welcome to the Arts Catalyst, and also hello to people who are watching in live stream land. This has been a very popular event, so we haven't been able to get in everybody who could come, and I think there are probably people watching from around the globe as well. Thousands. So this is part of LabEasy. We invited the wonderful MadLab from Manchester down to run a 2-week DIYBio laboratory and workshop in our space. And Asa Callow and Rachel Turner isn't with us, have been the main instigators and maestros of the last couple of weeks. And gradually we seem to have gathered a whole bunch of DIYBio experts from around the world. We've had people turning up from New York, Zagreb, Ljubljana, Copenhagen, Paris, Cork, and we'll hopefully get them all introduced this evening. I'll also mention Marc particularly because he's been running some of the workshops, and Marc describes himself as a rogue scientist, which is very in keeping. So tonight we've been running lots of workshops, and there have been lots of experiments happening around the place, which I think Asa will tell you more about. Tonight we're just going to have some talks from various DIYBio people who've been around for the last week and a half, and a bit of a conversation about DIYBio and where it's going. So I'm going to hand over to Asa to run the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll have to remember to talk into the right one, so if you see me talking like this. Yeah, thank you very much for coming along. It's been absolutely fantastic being down here to run the... some kind of husky. Okay, there's but yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic being here for like the past week and a half and having the opportunity to set up the LabEasy in this space, which we'll be talking through in a second. So the LabEasy, kind of what is it? We use the word lab in the loosest possible sense, in a very similar way to how we use it in MadLab. So it's less a lab than a fully blown research institution. There's why stop at one lab? So we have multiple labs that have been running in the space over the past week and a half. So we've over here we have the edible lab. So otherwise known as kind of the fermentation zone. There's kind of lots of sort of various bacteria and molds which we've put to work making interesting things for us to eat and drink. So we had a fantastic session on Sunday looking at some of those. We have over at the other end we have the inedible lab. As you can see, they're kind of about as far away from each other as we can get them. This is where the results of our genetic modification and synthetic biology for beginners workshop are kind of nestled in the plastic box marked "Do Not Lick" contents, along with some other kind of various sort of miscellaneous molds and kind of sort of unspecified things that we found sort of out in the parks and in the street, which probably shouldn't be licked either, or they're less of a risk. We have the instrumentation zone over here. We've kind of sort of been busy sort of building kind of bits of equipment. So you've got things like Gino's absolutely fantastic centrifuge, which he's built out of an old hard drive and the top of a plastic bottle. It's absolutely great. It works just as well as a piece of lab equipment you'd find in a commercial or academic setting. And we also have over in the back, very small, one section of the shelves at the back is set over as the mouse taxidermy lab, which I think pretty much speaks for itself. I'm not sure where that's gone to. It seems to have disappeared off the shelf at some point. Maybe someone's nabbed it. It was a particularly good piece of art. Thank you very much. I'd just like to very briefly, for anyone that doesn't know, just introduce you to the MadLab. And what MadLab is. So MadLab is short for Manchester Digital Laboratory. Sandra Ross, right cursor button, if you will. Or the up button. There we go. That's good. Then go on one more, just for that was the practice one. No, that was the left. Yeah, good. Yeah, almost. Yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent, fantastic. Very good. So MadLab was. When we first set up, whenever it was, about 4 years ago. It was short for Manchester Digital Laboratory. And the digital has become less and less important as time has gone on, which we're very keen on from the outset. It's, as you can see, it's a 3-storey, 3,000 square foot, enormous ramshackle former weaver's cottage from the Industrial Revolution. So it's got some fantastic industrial history in there as well, which we pack with various things, sort of ranging from the sort of wholly sensible, like technology for the volunteer sector, through to the utterly ridiculous, like DIYBio, for instance. And things like, so we've got like field recording groups in there, we've got reading groups, writers groups, filmmakers, photographers, lots of programmers, electronics, all kinds of different things. And they all kind of like smash together at different kind of times. And when these sort of different kinds of worlds collide and different kind of experiences collide, sort of interesting things come out of it. So it's absolutely fantastic. I think when we set it up, we didn't really have a clear idea about what it was going to turn into, but we're very, very happy about what it turned into, so that's absolutely great. So the LabEasy was, I suppose, born out of our involvement in DIYBio. And to go the step a little bit further back, as to sort of why we're involved in DIYBio, I suppose look at so back in 2009, went to a conference over in the States, over in San Francisco. It was just absolutely brilliant. I was introduced to 2 things, one of which was the Space Noise Bridge, which is a hacker space that's been running since 1996 in the Bay Area. It's just absolutely incredible, just kind of a place of concentrated creativity in the Mission District in San Francisco, which is brilliant. And the other one was going to a conference session on do-it-yourself biology, which was like roughly like sort of 45-minute kind of conference session. You know, sit down, you go like, okay, great, you know, someone's going to tell me some things, and they go like, no, we're not going to tell you things. We're going to make you genetically modify things. So in 45 minutes, they had everybody sort of get up out of the audience, kind of sort of pile forwards and sort of do this kind of sort of really, really simple sort of E. coli modification protocol, where you made E. coli glow in the dark. And then I think it was kind of, you know, I keep on saying this to people, they let you do what? So at that point they let us pop it in our pockets and walk off, which was rather good. With a, if you wouldn't mind bleaching it and sticking it in the bin, that would be absolutely fantastic. So it's brilliant. So there's loads of people kind of walking out the door with sort of like glow in the dark E. coli. And I was like, this is fantastic. This, you know, it's like, why didn't I know about this before? So we got to doing MadLab a lot earlier. I met some absolutely fantastic people over in Manchester who were really had the same kind of like like-minded kind of attitude. And then so we did that, and we sort of went off on an excellent sort of adventuring kind of tangent, sort of setting up MadLab. And then at some point it was always kind of there, sort of like ticking. It was like, well, I really want to do DIYBio as well. Eventually got the opportunity to do that, so that was via a meeting with somebody at the Science Fiction Book Club. They were like, well, we work at the local university, it would be great to partner on it and run a Wellcome Trust funded pilot project of DIYBio, which was great. So we did that for about 12 months, and then it kind of took on a life of its own. We sort of headed off on, kind of drew in more people who were kind of interested in this stuff. We kind of headed off on this sort of excellent kind of tangent. So yes, and that's kind of what brings us here today. So at the same time, there's kind of there's been a real sort of like interest in DIYBio, and there's been loads and loads of people that are sort of getting more and more involved in it from around the world. It's been absolutely great. We've managed to get a lot of those people sort of flown in to come to come hang out, and get involved and kind of exchange ideas and exchange knowledge, which has been absolutely brilliant. So just very quickly, kind of sort of run through and kind of sort of point at people in the room who have all come in. So kind of pointing over right towards the back, so you have Malta just over here from Biotehna in Copenhagen. Gino just here from Croatia, from Zagreb. He's also flown in. This amazing biohacker. Got Kristijan just here from Biotehna in Slovenia. My eyesight's terrible, by the way. Got some of the London biohackers in the house just here. There's Brian Degger from Newcastle, from Transit Lab in Newcastle, sort of in around the place, and then all these guys here as well. So you have Cathal Garvey from Cork, Marc Dusseiller from Hackerteria, and then to my right I have Thomas Landrain from La Paillasse in Paris, and Ellen Jorgensen from Genspace. So it's a really, really good kind of, sort of mix of sort of people, like a mix of sort of DIY kind of experiences that we've got in the room today. So I think that's, yeah, I won't carry on any further. So I think it'd be, just for the format for the evening, so we're going to hand over to these guys, tell you a little bit more about kind of their sort of background, kind of why they got involved in sort of in DIYBio or biohacking or biotweaking, or call it what you will. And then also to introduce a topic which is of particular importance to them. So we've got a real kind of like nice sort of cross-section of different kinds of topics which sort of touch on things which have been discussed within the kind of wider sort of DIYBio community. So the first half we're just going to sort of run through, like these guys can introduce their sort of experiences and kind of talk about DIYBio a little bit. And then in the second half we're going to have a sort of a slightly more kind of a wider discussion covering some of those points. So we're going to bring in like Gina and Malta and like Brian, like some of these guys, and Kristijan, and some of these guys, and kind of sort of talk over some of the kind of things that we talk about all the time. And then we're going to throw it open to questions so that anyone can just like pile in and kind of ask difficult things. We've been asked all kinds of difficult questions this past week. Being amateur biologists rather than professional biologists, most of the time we're just going to go, I have absolutely no idea. I really can't tell you, why don't you try it out? Is usually the response. Very good. So yeah, I think that's me, that's us. That's pretty good coming. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Cathal, just here. So.